Hi, this episode of Neighborhoods of Wake County bring us to Medfield Estates subdivision, which is located between Raleigh and Cary. But the good thing is there's no city taxes, so you only pay county taxes. And there are no HOA fees, but yet there's so many amenities here. There's a fabulous swimming pool, tennis courts, basketball, and it's just a great neighborhood, great community. The homes in this neighborhood range in price from about $300,000 up to about $450,000, and you'll see all kinds of styles. Most were built in the 1960s, and you'll see ranch style homes, two-story homes, the split levels and the split foyers that were so popular back then. But you're also seeing brand new homes. Any little lot that's available still in this neighborhood is being built on with nice transitional houses. The acreage here is about a half an acre, which is fabulous, really hard to find in this convenient location. There is a septic system. Everybody who owns here has to have their own septic system, but there is community water, a community system. I actually lived in this neighborhood for 20 years, and I am really happy to say that it was where my son grew up, and just he loved the pool and the swim team and had fabulous friends. It was a really, really great family neighborhood to grow up in. And it's my pleasure today to be with my previous next door neighbor, Nance Murphy, who I'm just thrilled that she was able to join us. So how many years have you lived in Medfield?
I think it's been about 29 years that we've been here, surprisingly.
Wow,
Yeah.
29, that's
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah, it is. It's been great though.
Right, so you raised your children here too.
That's right, yeah, and actually you've really covered a lot of what's so great about this neighborhood. We did raise our two daughters here, and it's just such a wonderful family, community, as you know from living here. And it really is a hidden gem. I mean, it's so close to everything. Everything is within 10 or 15 minutes away, and yet you feel like you're in the middle of the countryside. And when people come here, they always exclaim about how beautiful our trees are. And every day, particularly during this pandemic, I'm so grateful to live here, because I can go out and I can walk maskless, because there's lots of space and I rarely run into people, although lots of people are out walking. It's a very spacious feeling to live here. And you also feel like you're in the middle of nature, which is so needed during these times.
Right,
You know.
right. That's awesome. Now, I know that when I was here, there was, a very active pool with a swim team. Has that changed at all since the pandemic?
I know that the pool was open this summer, and I think they were following social distancing rules. And although we didn't join this year because we're empty nesters and we weren't sure about things with the pandemic, we could hear a lot of people having a good time down there. It's a very special pool too, because you don't feel crowded there. You get to know people. You look forward to seeing them when you go after work, or when you're there with your children. When my kids were small, we were shallow enders, and then as they got bigger, we grew to be the deep enders. And then the camaraderie of having the swim team meets and selling the refreshments, and there was just something for everyone to do. And it was so liberating for the kids, because as soon as they were old enough to swim across the deep end, they could go by themselves down there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they could just hop on their bikes, and they really had their own little lives. And everyone looked out after everyone else's children too, so it wasn't like they were completely going crazy.
Well, that's really great, because some neighborhoods have gotten to where everybody's inside and they're not really paying attention to the other neighbors.
Oh no,
and yet...
yeah, there's a real community feel here. We all take care of each other, and some people are having cocktails in the cul-de-sac, so they're out around the corner 10 feet apart, but they're still meeting to have drinks. And if somebody's tree goes down, everyone shows up to help. I mean, it's a great feeling.
Right.
It's a really good place for children and for adults.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, driving here today, I saw a brand new house that wasn't there when I lived here. It was, obviously a lot that was available, and somebody has put a beautiful new home on there. So the area is still extremely desirable. I know when homes come for sale in this area, they don't stay on the market long.
Usually about a week.
About a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
And an interesting thing too about the neighborhood is that a lot of people who grow up here come back and buy a home for themselves to raise their own children here.
Wow.
We have a lot of people that do that.
Okay.
And that house up the road, the new house, was built next to a relative. So that happens too. There are many relatives that live across from each other or next door to each other.
Wow.
So it's a very beloved neighborhood.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with Medfield, it's absolutely worth a drive through. It's located very close to, it's easy access to I-40 off of Chapel Hill Road, Highway 55. Again, it's a Raleigh address, but it's sort of right there in that area between Raleigh and Cary. But it's definitely a gem, and it's kind of like you said, a hidden gem.
Yeah.
So it's seriously worth a check out if you want a older home with established trees and established yards, large lots.
Large lots, yeah.
And yet still the super convenience of being able to get to either Raleigh or Cary within, 5 to 10 minutes, literally.
8 minutes to the airport.
It's 8 minutes to the airport,
Yeah.
And Umstead Park, we can't not mention that.
Yeah.
I used to ride my bike from my house to Umstead and did the whole 16-mile loop through the park and back home.
And access to the greenway that takes you all along up to the horse farms and Shank Forest and the art museum.
Yeah.
So you can access that on your bike too.
Right.
So it's a really great place.
I want to move back.
Yeah, it's funny. I think a lot. In the past, I thought about moving somewhere else, maybe somewhere where I could have a horse. But actually, this is the county, so you can have chickens here, and quite a few people have chickens, and there were horses at one time up the road. But then, the value of being here in terms of taxes, being in the county, and just the way it feels and the relationships that we've built, it's a great place to be.
Right. And I think Nance has one of the best houses in the neighborhood, this beautiful salt box house. It's just gorgeous what you've done.
Thank you. We were lucky to find it. We really do love it.
Well, thanks for joining me. And again, check out Medfield. I'm Deb McCutcheon with RE/MAX Advantage, and I'm with you through the ages and stages of home ownership.